The Honourable Sarah Mitchell, MLC, Minister for Education and Early Learning. Ms Prue Carr, Member for Londonderry, Shadow Minister for Education, Shadow Minister for Early Childhood Learning. Dr Marjorie O'Neill, Member for Coogee. Distinguished Fellows, members and guests of the Teachers Guild of New South Wales. My name is Dr Frederick Osman. As the President of the Teachers Guild of New South Wales, I'm pleased to welcome you to the 2022 Teachers Guild of New South Wales Awards for Excellence in Education at the William Inglis Hotel on this special occasion on World Teachers' Day. I would like to commence the proceedings by welcoming our entertainment tonight, brought to you by the wonderful Kari Singers for the official acknowledgement to country.
As we all gather here today, it is important to acknowledge the land that we stand upon and its traditional custodians. We recognise our continuing culture through connection to country, place and people. Below the asphalt buildings, there once lay the greenest grass and the richest soils of the oldest living culture in the world. We share the stage today, connected not by tribe, but by culture, friendship, and love. Together, we pay our respects to elders, past, present, and emerging, for they hold the memories, traditions, and hopes of Aboriginal Australia. We extend that respect to all Aboriginal people here today. Remember, this land we all share is, was, and always will be Aboriginal land.
Let's thank our wonderful Kari singers, Blake, Ralph, Hallie Pearson, Tina Falar, Jasmine and Maddie Wilson on their outstanding performance this evening. The Teachers Guild of New South Wales celebrates 130 years of honourable service, support and training for the vocation of teaching, always maintaining its foundation aim to promote in all possible ways the care of education. The Guild represents teachers from all levels and promotes a long-established theme of deep interest in professional development, encouragement of colleague educators, providing opportunities for the profession to network, refine skills and receive recognition. Tonight is truly a joyous occasion for the Teachers Guild of New South Wales as we have the opportunity to celebrate the many wonderful achievements that educators have made in an extraordinary year of challenge and change. These awards celebrate the amazing, talented, innovative, progressive and essential work that educators do on a daily basis to ensure our students have access to and receive the best possible education available. These awards highlight the achievements and diversity of the education profession across our state. Each year, these awards honour a distinguished educator of great standing with the Phyllis Evans Medal. This year, we are delighted to honour in person Mrs Anne Johnston, Principal of Ravenswood School for Girls, with the Phyllis Evans Medal for 2022 and acknowledge the awards certificates in her honour. Congratulations. Phyllis Evans, MBE, was a great educator, a long-serving headmistress of Ravenswood School for Girls, a fine contributor to various professional associations, a wonderful counsellor to colleagues and in particular served the Guild in great distinction over many decades in various roles. She was a champion of teacher trainees and a wonderful model of calm, common sense, style and deportment for the young ladies under her care at Ravenswood. Our awards program this evening will announce and honour outstanding colleagues who have made a significant contribution to their school with the following 2022 awards. Awards for teachers in their early years of teaching, the Research Award, the World Teachers Recognition Awards and the Honorary Fellowships of the Teachers Guild of New South Wales. These awards are an opportunity to publicly acknowledge the work of all teachers. These awards recognise the outstanding professional contribution to education made by teachers. On these important occasions, we celebrate and acknowledge the achievements of our teachers in an increasingly complex, multicultural and technological society. The Teachers Guild of New South Wales greatly admire the commitment of teachers in enhancing their professional knowledge, improving their teaching practice, in engaging with their students and their ongoing relationships with the wider community. I would like to congratulate your contributions to an informed and cohesive society and wish you every success and fulfilment for the future. Congratulations on making a real difference in the lives of our students and happy World Teachers' Day. I would now like to welcome on stage the Honourable Sarah Mitchell, MLC, Minister for Education and Early Learning. Please make her feel welcome.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Osmond, and thank you for the opportunity, everybody, to be here with you on World Teachers' Day. Happy World Teachers' Day to every teacher in the room. I think we'll give you a round of applause to start. I also, of course, want to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we're meeting and pay my respect to elders past, present and emerging, and of course extend that respect to any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people who might be here with us today, and in doing so, particularly on World Teachers' Day, acknowledge, of course, that Aboriginal people have been teaching and learning on these lands for tens of thousands of years. Fantastic beginning from the Kari Singers. A hard act to follow. Promise I won't try and sing, so you don't need to be worried about that. But I think it's a really great way to acknowledge country, and so I think that that's been a lovely start to the evening. And look, I only want to say a few words tonight because I see all of the medals behind me in the presentation, and that's what you're really here for. I don't think you're here so much to listen to politicians, but I do just want to say a couple of things, obviously, as we're here on World Teachers' Day. It's really about celebrating the best of the profession with these awards for excellence in teaching and honouring the teachers who have made a significant contribution to their school, for their students, with the World Teachers Recognition Awards. It's so important that we celebrate the profession and the best of the profession tonight, but also take the time while we're here together to really celebrate the everyday excellence that I know happens in classrooms day in and day out across New South Wales each and every single day. I also want to take this opportunity to acknowledge that it has been a really challenging past few years. There's no question about that. And even as we speak this evening, we still have school communities being impacted by the flooding that we've seen across the state, not to mention the pandemic and flu season and all of the things we've been grappling with in education over the last couple of years. It certainly tested, I think, the resilience of the system, but I want you to know that it's so important that we continue to advocate for you as teachers, for you as educators, and particularly acknowledge that invaluable role that you all play in what is an ever-changing world. I spent this morning at Summerhill Public School, where we actually launched a new Attraction to Teaching campaign. So keep an eye out for that coming out across a range of social media and more traditional channels over the next little while. And it's all been about making sure that we can really work together to improve the perception of teaching, to get the message out there about how rewarding it is as a career and how teaching really does open doors for a range of professional opportunities. We're focusing on 13 teachers from 10 different schools across the state, each of them telling their stories, and it's really heartwarming to listen to why they got into teaching, why they love what they do, and how they want to inspire the next generation of teachers. So particularly I think on World Teachers' Day, to be a part of that launch, and the assistant principal at Summerhill, Sarah Weston, is one of the teachers that is part of that campaign, and to be in the classroom with her and her students and speaking to them today about, you know, what is it that you like about Miss Weston, and everything from, you know, she's amazing, she's helped me learn literacy and I understand things in maths that I didn't before, to one little boy who said she really listens to our feelings and she helps us when we need it. You know, it really to me just showed the absolute breadth of what an amazing teacher does in a classroom, and they're the really great stories that we want to be able to tell. I also just want to touch on the fact, of course, that for me, as the Education Minister, it's an incredible honour and privilege to have this role, and what I love the most is doing, like what I did today in Summerhill. I've been out in the far west of the state over the last couple of days. It's going to schools, it's meeting our teachers, meeting our educators, meeting our principals, our learning support officers, speaking to our students about the great things that are happening and seeing how we can get in and help the system to be the best that it can be for our students. One of the things that I've recently set up is what we call a Minister's sort of Teachers Advisory Panel, and that's a group of teachers from all three school sectors. We've got early childhood educators represented there too, and it's really about talking through the issues and also finding the solutions, everything from early career support, workload issues, professional support, mentoring, how we can make sure our ITE degrees are really doing what we need them to do to support our new teachers, what we can be doing in terms of retention and making sure that our current workforce know how valued and supported they are. And that's been a really great opportunity for me to hear directly from our teachers across all three school sectors and feed that into the work that we're doing, of course, at a national level around teacher supply. So it's something that I find to be incredibly rewarding, and to be able to hear, as I said, directly from our teachers is certainly one of the best parts of my job. Finally, I just want to acknowledge everyone who is being recognised here tonight, and also your friends, your families, your colleagues who are no doubt here to support you. It's a big deal, and it's a great occasion to honour you on World Teachers' Day. Of course, particularly to call out Anne Johnston, who's being especially acknowledged tonight, of course, as the Phyllis Evans Medal winner. I first met Anne a couple of years ago. I went and visited her school and got to see some of the amazing amazing things that she's doing there. But I actually heard about her before that visit because I was meeting with a group of families in the Upper Hunter area of New South Wales who were talking to me about Anne and said, have you seen the work that she's doing around particularly resilience and wellbeing? It's really great. You should meet her and go and have a look. So your reputation preceded you, and I know how well respected you are right across sectors across the state. So congratulations particularly to you, Anne, but to everybody who's being acknowledged tonight. It really is something that I hope that you remember in terms of your professional careers for a very long time, and I just appreciate very much the opportunity to be a small part of it. So thank you, and I hope you all enjoy the evening. Thanks.
Thank you, Minister Mitchell. I would now like to take this opportunity to thank our dinner sponsors for their commitment to the work of the Teachers Guild New South Wales and their ongoing support of the education profession more broadly. I would particularly like to thank ANZ UK in supporting our awards in the early years of teaching, Apex for Teachers in supporting our research awards, the Trophy Store in providing the stunning awards, plaques and World Teachers' Day figurines for all our award recipients tonight, and Bite Size in supporting and providing amazing gift hampers for our award recipients. Thank you all for your sponsorship in supporting the Guild. In conclusion, please enjoy this evening, celebrate and network and continue to support the important work that the Teachers Guild of New South Wales does for your career and profession. Thank you. To present our Junior and Senior School Awards presentation, I would now like to welcome on stage to join the Honourable Sarah Mitchell, Minister of Education, Mr Simon Withers, ANZ UK New South Wales State Manager, Mitch Jones, ANZ UK New South Wales ACT Team Leader, and April O'Donnell, the Chair of the Awards Committee, to present the awards for teachers in the early years of teaching for outstanding primary school teachers in New South Wales. Please make them feel all welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is April O'Donnell, and as the Awards Chair, it gives me great pleasure to announce the awards for teachers in the early years of teaching in the primary school division. We thank the generous sponsorship by ANZ UK, providing quality educators since 2004, every way, every day, always, in supporting this important award category. In the primary school division, the following outstanding recipients were shortlisted as finalists. The order of the names is listed in the program, and please come forward when your name is read to receive your finalist award and take a photograph with the Minister and our award sponsors. Please stay on stage until we announce the winning award for the Primary Award Division. Aidan Barnett from Canberra Girls School. Aidan Barnett is a positive, energetic early career teacher with a clear vision to provide quality, equitable physical education to all students. His authentic connection with his students ensures he delivers top quality PDHPE programs. Let's give him some applause. Evie Charles from Barker College. Evie Charles is a vibrant early career educator with a passion for furthering her own practice through consistent reflection and professional development. She is to be commended on her clever classroom management strategies, creation of many original resources, and the effective student wellbeing program that she has initiated. Ibrahim Matar, St Peter Channel Catholic Primary School. Ibrahim Matar is a passionate and creative educator who contributes to his school's creative and performing arts department, drama and music programs with enthusiasm. He endeavours to equip students to work through challenges and emerge as resilient learners. Georgia Cecil, St Gregory's College. Georgia Cecil has a clear vision for delivering education that focuses on the whole child, and she strives to ensure students with diverse learning needs are equitably supported in her classroom. She is to be commended for her contributions to her school community and in mentoring representative netball teams. Sophie Jones, Cal Rossi Anglican College. Sophie Jones is an enthusiastic and dedicated young teacher with a passion for integrating her study of psychology into her teaching career to provide exceptional education. She shows leadership and mentoring skills through her desire to support other early career teachers. The Teachers Guild of New South Wales Primary School Division winner for 2022 is Evie Charles from Barker College. Congratulations to Evie Charles on winning the Teachers Guild of New South Wales Early Career Award category for the 2022 Primary School Division. Now, we have warned the finalists, but I would like to invite Evie to the lectern to give a response for her winning award in just a moment.
Thank you so much. I'm so honoured to be here today. I feel so humbled to be able to receive this award. I'm very thankful to God and just absolutely love teaching. I think ever since I was a child, ever since I was in kindergarten, I've always dreamed of being a teacher. There's been no time in my life where I haven't wanted to be a teacher, and I think it's honestly just one of the most rewarding professions. It's hard work, it's not 9 to 3, and I'm sure you all know that when you're sitting in this room, but I think it is worth so much. It is so rewarding. You make such a difference in the lives of children, and I'm so thankful to be able to do that each and every day. Thank you.
It gives me great pleasure to announce our awards for teachers in their early years of teaching in the secondary school division. And again, we thank the generous sponsorship by ANZ UK, providing quality educators since 2004, every way, every day, always, in supporting this important award category. In the secondary school division, the following outstanding recipients were shortlisted as finalists. The order of the names is listed in the program, and we ask that you please come forward when your name is read to receive your finalist award and take a photograph with the Minister and our award sponsor. Please stay on stage until we announce the winning award for the Secondary Award Division. Alexandra Story, Pymble Ladies College. Alexandra Story is an inspiring, passionate young educator who integrates her passion of science and student well-being by integrating innovative technologies to help engage the students in her classroom. She has demonstrated her leadership and mentoring skills through her wellbeing role as a directions class teacher, being able to mentor students in both learning and various aspects of wellbeing, including mental health, careers, and positive relationships. Let's again give her a round of applause. Angel Gillen from Scots College. Angel Gillen is a dedicated and enthusiastic educator who exhibits her in-depth knowledge of mathematics and commitment to building nurturing relationships with students in her care. She shows her leadership and mentoring skills through her involvement in her school's pastoral care system. Cameron Rogers from Sarah Redfern High School. Cameron Rogers is an innovative and dynamic educator who displays his unwavering dedication towards his students, captivating them through his engaging and enlivened learning in both PDHPE and science. He demonstrates his leadership and mentoring skills through his role as acting head teacher of PDHPE and the development of the SRHS Rugby League program. Dakota Acevedo from St. Joseph's Catholic High School. Dakota is an enthusiastic and dedicated young teacher with a passion for integrating her study of Aboriginal education into her teaching to foster inclusiveness and positive relationships between Indigenous and non-Indigenous students in her classroom. She shows leadership and mentoring skills through her active contribution to her school community and many co-curricular activities. Ryan Koeman from St Clement High School. Ryan is an enthusiastic and dedicated educator who demonstrates passion through the integration of his expertise and experience in the design and technology industry, providing exceptional support and authentic learning for every student. He shows his dedication and professionalism in his school community through his commitment to his contribution to the school's wider community. Sinead Morgan, Marcellin College, Randwick. Sinead Morgan is a professional educator who contributes her passion of empowering others with the skills to engage in interpretive and critical thinking through authentic and collaborative learning in her classroom. She demonstrates her leadership as the Newman Selective Gifted Education Program Coordinator, working with colleagues on building staff capacity for differentiated formative assessment and tracking growth through mapping from pre-testing and learning data. Tegan Douglas from St John's College, Dubbo. Tegan Douglas is a dynamic young educator who demonstrates a passion for mathematics, implementing innovative and interactive teaching methods in her classroom, effectively engaging her students. She displays leadership and mentoring in her school community through her role as the leader of digital pedagogy, implementing through her school-wide reform on the development and improvement of pedagogical practices in every classroom. The Teachers Guild of New South Wales Secondary School Division winner for 2022 is Cameron Rogers from Sarah Redfern High. The Teachers Guild of New South Wales congratulates Cameron Rogers on winning the New South Wales Early Career Award category for the 2022 Secondary School Division. Let's give him another round of applause. I'd love to invite Cameron to the lectern to give a response for his winning award.
Oh, wow, I'm so honoured to be here tonight, sharing in this award with my fellow young educators. It's a privilege to be here, let alone to win such an award. I would first like to thank the Teachers Guild of New South Wales for holding such an occasion to celebrate and recognise the great work of this state's educators. I would like to further congratulate my fellow early career teachers here tonight. We are the future leaders of education, and you should all be proud of what you've achieved. It has been a privilege to share in this award with you, and I hope that we can continue to network and deliver quality education for the young people in this country. I would next like to thank my school, Sarah Redfern High School, and my mentors here tonight, Lindy Clowry, Diana Kelly, Emma Lindsay, and Cameron Thompson. We are a school located in southwest Sydney that at times faces significant challenges. However, we strive to provide the best quality education and opportunities for our students. Your never-ending guidance and support have allowed me to develop into the accomplished education professional I am today, so thank you. I would lastly like to thank my beautiful wife, who is also here tonight. You have supported me in any venture I've undertaken. As I'm sure we can all understand, as an educator, there are good times and there are some bad ones as well. You've been there through it all with me, through the highs, picked me up when I'm down. I would not be the educator or the man I am today without you. I'd like to tell you a story about a boy who grew up in the toughest circumstances in southwest Sydney. This boy grew up looking after his younger brother whilst his single mother tried to make ends meet. He had one of two goals in life: to be a professional rugby league player for the Cronulla Sharks or Steve Irwin. He was close to achieving one of those goals, playing under 20s for the Cronulla Sharks at the young age of 15. Due to this, he was, to put it nicely, a nightmare for his teachers. Oh, sorry, Diana Kelly. He didn't care about school. He was going to be a football player. This was until he sustained multiple concussions, permanently ruling him out of the game he devoted his life to. He was lost and scared about his future, which led him to go down some negative paths, resulting in multiple suspensions. This was until one of his teachers introduced him to the gym and taught him lessons about discipline, resilience, and goal setting. After this young boy had set his sights on attending university for medical science, which many people laughed at. Through the tireless efforts of his teachers giving up their lunchtimes and afternoons, he had relearned from everything from years 9, 10 and 11 and continued towards achieving his goal in the HSC. He attained his HSC and was accepted into university for medical science. However, something didn't please him about this path. He always looked back to how his life had been saved by his teachers, to which the now young man had dedicated his life to, educating and advocating for the young individuals within low socioeconomic communities, to hopefully change their lives like the teachers did for him. As you can probably guess by now, I was that young man. In my early career as an educator, I've achieved quite a lot. I've been a teacher, a rugby league coach, a year advisor, and am currently a head teacher. This has seen me accomplish multiple things, from numerous Band 6s over multiple subjects, to winning state sporting championships and leading fellow educators in developing quality practice. However, no achievement can beat the smile on a student's face after all the odds. They have found that they can do it. My teaching philosophy has always been and will always be teach for students rather than teach to them. So where to now for this young man? I'm currently the head teacher of innovation, creating quality opportunities for all students to engage with advanced technology and STEAM concepts to which the likes have never been seen before in low socioeconomic environments. Over the coming years, I wish to broaden my scope of educational impact. I shall achieve this by completing my doctorate in education, analysing modes of improving engagement with ecological studies for those in low socioeconomic contexts. I wish to use this achievement and my experiences as a teacher to create a free department-endorsed environmental school and wildlife park, allowing students to engage with Australian native wildlife whilst promoting the concepts of sustainability and conservation. I guess you can say I'm really trying to go for that Steve Irwin angle now. Whilst these are big goals, I know that with hard work and a bit of help, I can achieve them, as I want to continue to give a voice for those who have a limited one and those who have none at all. So thank you very much and happy World Teachers Day.
The Teachers Guild of New South Wales congratulates all of our outstanding early award recipients, and we wish them well in their teaching careers. Please congratulate once again all of our award recipients. We also thank the Honorary Sarah Mitchell, MLC, Minister for Education and Early Learning, Mr Simon Withers, ANZ UK New South Wales State Manager, Mitch Jones, ANZ UK New South Wales ACT Team Leader, for helping to present these awards. We will now break as the main course will be served. Enjoy, and we'll see you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Lauren Nussin, and as the Teachers Guild of New South Wales Councillor, it gives me great pleasure to announce the Guild Research Award offered to an educator who is currently completing or has completed an outstanding piece of research of direct benefit to classroom teaching. We thank the generous sponsorship by Apex for Teachers in supporting this important award category. To present our Research Award presentations, I would like now to welcome on stage the Honourable Sarah Mitchell, Minister for Education and Early Learning, and Mr Anand Karupia, Founder and Managing Director, Apex for Teachers, to present the Research Awards. Please make them feel welcome. In the Research Award, the following outstanding recipients were shortlisted as finalists. The order of the names is listed in the programme, and please come forward when your name is read to receive your finalist award and take a photograph with the Minister and our award sponsor. Please stay on stage until we announce the winner for the Research Award. Our 2022 Research Award finalists include Belinda Trelaw, Pittwater House, Byron Usma, Brigadine College, St Ives, Douglas Broadbent, University College London and Thomas Hassel Anglican College. Pause and let you come to the stage. So Belinda. Byron. And Douglas. Jodie Torrington, Macquarie University. Marielle Lombard, Pymble Ladies College. And Dr. Stephen Kenner, University of Notre Dame. This award will be accepted by Frank Clark. Mario? And Frank Clark on behalf of Dr. Stephen Kenner. And the Teachers Guild of New South Wales Research Award winner for 2022 is Marielle Lombard from Pymble Ladies College. Well, congratulations to Marielle Lombard on winning the Teachers Guild of New South Wales Research Award for 2022. I would now like to invite Marielle to the lectern to give a response for her winning award. Please welcome Marielle.
I wasn't expecting this at all, so I just want to thank the Guild for this opportunity. What an honour to be here tonight, and for the fabulous research from those that were presenting with me on the day. It was, just such an exciting opportunity. Research is, particularly in the area that I'm researching, is something I feel absolutely passionate about. And I do want to just shout out to my table over there, Mel Boyd, who's been my mentor and a good friend of mine, my sister Anik, who's here today as well, who've just been such an important part of my journey. So, and to Pymble Ladies College, my school that I'm just so terribly proud of. So thanks so much.
The Teachers Guild of New South Wales congratulates all our outstanding Research Award recipients, and we wish them well in their teaching careers. Please congratulate once again all our recipients. We also thank the Honourable Sarah Mitchell, Minister for Education and Early Learning, and Mr Anand Karupia for helping present these awards.
Our next awards are the presentation of Honorary Fellowships for 2022. To commence our Honorary Fellowship Award presentations, I would now like to invite Dr Frederick Osman, President of the Teachers Guild of New South Wales, to present the 2022 Honorary Fellows of the Teachers Guild of New South Wales, recognising outstanding educators who have made major contributions both within their mainstream sphere of work and more broadly across the profession. Our distinguished fellows join a group of very accomplished leaders who will provide significant value to our profession and be entitled to use the prestigious post-nominals HFTGN, or Honorary Fellowship Teachers Guild of New South Wales. The order of the names is listed in the program, and please come forward when your name and citation is read and receive your honorary fellowship from our Guild President. To begin, Dr. Annie Agnew. Dr. Annie Agnew has been involved in education since 1991 and has taught across a variety of sectors, from preschool to adult and university settings in Australia as well as the United States of America. Dr. Agnew has been the Director of Education Technology Team and ICT Department at Canberra Grammar School. She has held many notable positions throughout her career, such as the Head of Department of Diverse Learning Needs at McCarthy Catholic College, Director of Professional Experience at UTS Sydney, and she is currently the National Director of Professional Experience at the University of Notre Dame. Dr. Annie Agnew has gained both a Master of Education from UTS in 2017 and a Doctor of Education from UTS in 2021. She was awarded co-winner of Award for Learning and Teaching and Learning in both 2018 and 2020 in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences at UTS. Dr. Annie Agnew is to be commended on her lifelong commitment to exemplary education and her stewardship of education for the next generation. Dr. Annie Agnew is a worthy recipient of the Teachers Guild of New South Wales Honorary Fellowship Award. Andrea de Carvalho. Mrs. Andrea de Carvalho has had 16 years of experience in primary schools as a teacher and executive team member. She has had extensive long-term involvement in education and adult professional development, most recently in the vital space of excellent tertiary education for pre-service teachers. Andrea has held senior system-level leadership positions for the last 8 years, and from 2016 to 2020, Andrea held the position of Leader of Learning for Mathematics and Numeracy in the Eastern region of Sydney Catholic Schools. From 2020 until now, she has held the position of Master Teacher in Sydney Catholic Schools, which is a senior leadership position responsible for developing the expertise and confidence of instructional specialists across the system. Andrea is a member of the National Catholic Education Commissary Advisory Panel. She was a presenter at the ACEL National Conference in 2020 and at the Australian Association of Mathematics Conference in 2020. She is the co-writer of Write On, a system-wide teacher resource for teaching writing K-10. Andrea is a panel member of the combined ACT response to ACARA's proposed changes to the Australian curriculum. She has published invaluable articles in Catholic education bulletins and Topics, the Australian Catholic Primary Principals Association publication. Andrea's contribution to professional development in the education sector does not go without significant recognition and praise. Mrs. Andrea de Carvalho is a worthy recipient of the Teachers Guild of New South Wales Honorary Fellowship Award. Mrs. Kathy DeMarcos. Mrs. Kathy DeMarcos has extensive experience in adult professional development as a tremendous mentor and coach to senior leaders in many sectors. She has over 35 years' experience in business leadership and coaching. Mrs. DeMarcos is currently a business management consultant responsible for leadership development, coaching and mentoring businesses. She has written 4 books and is a winner of an MMH Gold Book Award. Kathy was the recipient of a 2022 Global Women in Leadership Award and in 2021 was winner of Mentor of the Year, presented by the Advisor Better Business Awards in New South Wales ACT. Mrs. Kathy DeMarcos is to be commended for her contributions to adult professional development. Mrs. Kathy DeMarcos is a worthy recipient of the Teachers Guild of New South Wales Honorary Fellowship Award. The next honorary fellowship is for Mrs. Deborah Clancy, who is unable to join us this evening, and her award will be accepted by Mrs. Michelle Smith from Lakes Grammar and Anglican School. Mrs. Deborah Clancy has been providing quality education since 1987 in a variety of roles both in Australia and overseas. Deborah began teaching secondary school science in 1987 and has taught across all science areas. Deborah has had many roles in her teaching career, including science teacher, stage convener, head of house, director of learning, head of teaching and learning, head of boarding and academic care, and acting headmistress. And she is currently the principal of Lakes Grammar and Anglican School, where she faithfully leads a cohort of 900 students from kindergarten to year 12. Deborah has earned her Masters in Educational Leadership from the University of Wollongong. She's a well-respected speaker who has presented at conferences across Australia and in China on topics such as student wellbeing, evidence-based teaching, and educational governance and leadership. Mrs. Deborah Clancy is a devoted principal who displays a lifelong commitment to excellence in education. Mrs. Deborah Clancy is a worthy recipient of the Teachers Guild of New South Wales Honorary Fellowship Award. Dr. Kirsten McCauley. Dr. Kirsten McCauley has been involved in music education since 1993. She is currently the Director of Teaching at St Andrew's Cathedral School, a role she has held since 2018. Dr. McCauley is a NESA Music Senior Marker of both written and practical examinations since 2012. She was the NESA Chief Examiner of Music in 2018 to 2019, and again from 2022 to 2023. Dr. McCauley has received a Master of Music from the University of New South Wales in 2006, a Master of Education in 2017, and a PhD from the School of Education from University of Western Sydney in 2021. She has received significant recognition during her career for her contributions to education. Dr. McCauley received the Professional Service Award from the Professional Teachers Council in 2018, the ACE Dr. Paul Brock Medal in 2020, the New South Wales Institute of Educational Research Beth Southwell Outstanding Educational Thesis Award in 2021, and the ANZARME David Sell Prize Postgraduate Students Research Paper Award in 2021. Dr. McCauley is to be commended on her excellent contributions to the music sector of education. Dr. McCauley is a worthy recipient of the Teachers Guild of New South Wales Honorary Fellowship Award. Mrs. Jodie Torrington. Mrs. Jodie Torrington has been a primary school teacher since 1995 and has taught in many states and territories in Australia, as well as in New Zealand. She holds a Master of Education from Macquarie University, gained in 2019, a Master of Research from Macquarie University, gained in 2020, and is currently in the final year of a Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Studies at Macquarie University. Mrs. Torrington has published a variety of first and co-authored publications in quartile run 1 ranked international journals, Australian journals, newspapers and blogs. She received the Dean's Award for Academic Achievement upon graduation from her teaching degree in 1995. Mrs. Torrington has received many awards, including the Rural and Remote Award for Volunteer Work, the Educational Technology Innovation Prize from Macquarie University in 2017, the Macquarie University Award for Academic Excellence upon graduating from her Master of Education, and in 2020, Mrs. Torrington won the Teachers Guild of New South Wales Research Award. She has also been awarded the Macquarie University Research Excellence Scholarship for both her Master of Research and PhD studies. Mrs. Torrington is a highly learned and vital member of the teacher education sector. Mrs. Jodie Torrington is a worthy recipient of the Teachers Guild of New South Wales Honorary Fellowship Award. Please congratulate once again all of the outstanding Honorary Fellowship Award recipients for 2022. I would now like to invite Mr. Patrick Nam to the stage, as he's going to introduce our wonderful guest of honour for this evening. Could you please welcome Patrick to the stage?
It gives me great pleasure to introduce our guest of honour, Mrs. Ann Johnston. Mrs. Ann Johnston is principal of Ravenswood School for Girls, a leading independent girls' school in Sydney, Australia. Anne is also chair and a founding board member of the Positive Education in Schools Association and vice chair of the International Positive Education Network. Anne holds a Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Laws with honours, a degree, and a graduate diploma of education. In addition, Anne holds a Master of Applied Positive Psychology, MAP, from the University of Pennsylvania. Her thesis for this degree was completed under the supervision of the founder of positive psychology, Professor Martin Seligman, and it was recognised as a distinguished capstone. Anne is currently completing a PhD under the supervision of Professor Lindsay Oates and Dr. Aaron Jardine at the Melbourne Graduate School of Education at the University of Melbourne. The focus of Anne's doctoral research is helping young people develop a mindset that promotes well-being. Anne was awarded a Churchill Fellowship in 2004 to explore ways to foster resilience in learning. She conducted this study while based at Cambridge University in England. In 2018, Anne was awarded the Australian Speech and Communication Association Award for Excellence. In 2019, Anne was one of just 5 educators globally, as well as the only female recipient of an award recognising her pioneering work and leadership in positive education at a global summit held by the University of Pennsylvania and Eisenhower Fellowships in Philadelphia. Prior to her appointment as principal of Ravenswood, Anne was principal of Seymour College in Adelaide. Before this, she was deputy headmistress and head of senior school at St. Catherine's School in Sydney, Australia, one of the oldest independent girls' schools. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest of honour, Mrs. Ann Johnston, to the stage for her address.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'd like to begin by acknowledging we are in the country of the Darug and Tharawal Nation, the traditional custodians of this land. I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Thank you so much to the New South Wales Teachers Guild President, Dr. Frederick Osman, Vice President Patrick Nam, and members of Council for this incredible honour. I'd also like to acknowledge the inspirational Minister for Education, the Honourable Sarah Mitchell, and the Shadow Education Minister, the Honourable Prue Carr, along with Dr. Marjorie O'Neill, the member for Coogee. Well, I would like to begin by paying tribute to each and every teacher here on World Teachers' Day and offer special congratulations to those who've been honoured with awards tonight. I'm sure you'll all agree it's been incredibly inspiring to hear the various achievements, but also the wonderful speeches that have been shared. Congratulations on your invaluable contribution through your important roles. As we celebrate World Teachers' Day, it's so important to acknowledge that teachers across the globe have now had to navigate nearly 3 years of a global pandemic, the greatest disruption to education that we have experienced in our lifetimes. What a colossal challenge this has been. But teachers have leaned in and showed courage and agility, resilience and fortitude. I remember one of my own long-standing and brilliant staff members coming to me before our first lockdown in 2020, feeling completely at sea, saying, "Should I be retiring? I just don't know how to be a teacher over Zoom." To which I replied, "Well, I don't know how to be a principal over Zoom either, but let's find a way through together." And indeed, teachers everywhere have heroically found ways through, linking arms with characteristic creativity, collegiality, resourcefulness, and a resolute student-centred focus. Certainly, the pandemic has highlighted just how critical schools are in the fabric of our society as community hubs, and how vital schools are to supporting both learning and well-being for our young people. It's no surprise that after extended lockdowns, people were calling for our schools to reopen, not just for the cognitive development of our students, but for their social development and indeed their mental health. I would also like to recognise the family and friends and colleagues here tonight who have stood by us as teachers and educational leaders and supported us during this turbulent period and throughout our careers. You share in these awards. On a personal note, I'd like to offer my heartfelt thanks to my own family, my wonderful husband Andrew and our children Jacob and Olivia, as well as my inspirational parents, Stan and Jennifer Comino, who are here tonight. In addition, I'd like to pay great tribute and thank the amazing students, staff, leadership team and community at Ravenswood, along with our trailblazing chair, Gail Kelly, and our school council. So to begin, to all our teachers, well done and keep going. There's a wonderful saying that says, "A teacher affects eternity. They can never tell where their influence stops." I think this is profoundly true. As teachers, we have the opportunity to equip, empower and speak life and hope into the lives of the young people we are privileged to educate. By doing so, we can generate a positive ripple effect that can span whole lifetimes and even throughout generations. The founder of positive psychology, Professor Martin Seligman, Ravenswood's inaugural psychologist in residence in 2019, famously declared that well-being is every child's birthright. And of course, we wholeheartedly agree. But the reality is that not every student comes to us with high levels of well-being. Indeed, when we look around our classrooms, our schools, there are too many students struggling with mental ill health. This represents a significant challenge for teachers and school communities, and it is a topic beyond the scope of this address tonight. But I believe it also presents us with an important opportunity. The good news is that as educators, we are uniquely well placed to help. Seligman's decades of research into how we help people flourish has culminated in a key finding. We have one past, but multiple futures. In other words, our past doesn't have to define us. There are choices we can make around how we respond to challenges and opportunities as we advance into our futures that will make a difference. We can look to the future with hope. As teachers, we are strategically placed to highlight this for our students. We stand at the signposts in our students' lives and help them consider and progress towards new possibilities and directions in their futures. We can equip them with strategies and a toolkit to build their own well-being and help build the well-being of those around them through evidence-based strategic approaches such as those found in positive education. Results from my recently published journal article in the Journal of School and Educational Psychology with Professor Lee Waters finds that having a positive education framework, training all staff, having both student and staff wellbeing initiatives that can be taught, developed and measured, and cultivating a common language for positive education are core processes that create a sustained and adaptive culture for wellbeing. And this is not a happyology, but about finding ways to build resilience and effectively navigate the vicissitudes of life. Outcomes such as hope, subjective wellbeing, life satisfaction, pro-social behaviour, school engagement and academic grades have all been shown to significantly increase following positive education interventions. We can empower our students with a sense of agency, the ability to understand that they can make a difference in the world. We can encourage them, foster within them a spirit of courage, a champion overcomer's mindset that helps them bounce back and bounce forward from setbacks. We can help them understand failure and difficulty are just feedback along the learning journey, suggesting more help is needed, perhaps, or efforts should be redoubled, or a new way forward should be tried. We can help transform lives through the words we speak, words that help build a sense of self-efficacy and positive identity. Words shape worlds. I once ran an exercise in a junior school where students were encouraged to record 3 blessings each day. One student who was going through a particularly difficult time could only think of one and simply wrote, Mrs. Robinson smiled at me today. When I shared it with her teacher, she couldn't remember that moment, but the student had, and it had made all the difference. We can model and teach high-quality connections that generate upward spirals of positivity, resonance and goodwill. These are just small moment-to-moment interactions that can help someone else feel uplifted, valued, a warm greeting, a smile in the corridors, cheering one another on, asking people if they're okay. Celebrated academic Professor Barbara Fredrickson describes these as everyday moments of love that are immensely nourishing psychologically. They help broaden and build our cognition and psychological capital, as well as help bolster us physiologically. She describes such connections as being like a superfood for our overall health. As educators, we can also help build a whole school culture characterised by a strong sense of connection and belonging, both of which serve as significant predictors of well-being for both students and staff while supporting academic performance. As we seek to open new horizons of learning and development, the way we conceptualise the learning process matters. We can teach our students that effort changes the brain and that the pathway to excellence is paved by grit. That is, tenacious, dogged perseverance combined with passion. Internationally recognised academic Angela Duckworth has found that talent counts, but effort counts twice as much. It is so important that we convey to our students messages like, we can all be powerful learners. We can all achieve mastery and breakthroughs in learning with appropriate levels of support, wherever we may be along the learning continuum. Even if, to quote Carol Dweck, we haven't got there yet. Ultimately, we can help our students to see that they are seen, that they have unique strengths, and they have so much to offer this world. In my early years of teaching, I taught my class about strength spotting in others, asking what's right about one another instead of what's wrong with one another. And I always remember the jubilant buzz as students affirmed strengths they'd seen in action by their peers: kindness, humour, citizenship, curiosity, love of learning, zest. I asked them then to reflect on their own strengths. But I also remember a poignant moment when one student put up a hand and said, "But I don't have any strengths." I think it's really important we use the opportunity to help young people in our care develop a strong sense of identity and self-worth. In the world of social media and its seductive and destructive invitation to social comparison and relentless messaging about what it means to fit in, we can help young people to understand they are enough. They were born enough. We can also foster an other person-centredness by changing the focus away from me, by facilitating exercises where students are really encouraged to look beyond themselves. As part of a research study, students in a test group were asked to initiate high-quality connections with others for 2 weeks and journal about their findings. Essentially, their task was to make other people's days brighter. At the conclusion of this study, one of the students made the following comment: "It was such a relief. I didn't walk around the campus self-conscious, wondering what other people thought of me, whether they liked me. It didn't matter. My mission was to make other people's day for that 2-week period." The word teacher has its roots in the Latin word meaning to lead or to draw out. We have an opportunity to help our young people become the best versions of themselves. When students can identify and harness their own unique strengths, they can use these not only to make a difference in their own life, but a difference to others beyond themselves, therefore helping them to be well positioned to live a meaningful life that is other person-centred. And in developing a sense of purpose, we can encourage them to ask themselves things like Leo Tolstoy's 3 questions. Who am I? What's important? What am I here to do? I don't think we ask these kind of questions enough. Teachers' impact can indeed extend throughout lives. When I look back over my own career and life, I can see the immensely positive influence of teachers, beginning with my own parents, both of whom are educators, and in fact, here tonight. Mum is a music teacher, and my dad is a history teacher and school psychologist who is now in his 50th year at Newington College. That's right. Both of my parents instilled in me a love and indeed a reverence for the precious gift and transformative power of education, and I will be forever grateful for this. My own teachers, whether my kindergarten teacher, Mrs O'Halloran at Windsor Public School, who made us all feel cherished and like every little step forward was a giant advancement in our learning, or my English teacher at St Cath's, Miss Nadge, who shared her contagious passion for poetry, and Jane Austen, or my art teacher, Miss Rentz, who lifted our spirits by describing even the most bizarre attempts at abstract expressionism as yummy. As educators, we can help inspire new generations of teachers to rise up and join our profession too. It was in fact my own teachers who profoundly changed the course of my career. I began my career practicing commercial litigation, first at a vibrant law firm out at Marylands, then a small law firm in the city, where I had the honour of working on the South Sydney Rabbitohs case to help bring the club back into the rugby league. And then a big city law firm where, though dynamic, I had found a sense of meaning and purpose were less apparent to me. It was my honours thesis supervisor in my law degree, a keen intellectual and a legal academic, who gave me my first teaching opportunity. He was planning to take sabbatical and invited me to take his place as lecturer and course convener in his course, Business Organisations Law. It was during this time that I experienced an epiphany, a calling to teach. I loved the experience of being in the classroom or in the lecture theatre with these 4th and 5th year law students. And I felt I could personally make a more positive impact in the world as a teacher than a lawyer. I did, however, decide to pursue a career in school teaching to focus on helping students fulfil their potential and flourish in their formative years. It was a subsequent visit with my old headmistress, Jo Carolus, also a winner of this Phyllis Evans Award, that gave me the opportunity to make a career change after 4 years as a lawyer. Jo offered some great encouragement about teaching, and on that same day offered me my first job as a school teacher, with a mixed portfolio of English, history, Christian studies, applied psychology, and coordinating an after-school study club. So when the new academic year began, I literally went from appearing in the Supreme Court one week to teaching A Midsummer Night's Dream to Year 9 students the next, and I really haven't looked back. Then there was my deep dive into positive education, inspired by pioneering teachings and teachers in this field. Though initially taking a strongly academic focus in my teaching career, it was actually my time as a gifted education coordinator that I experienced a further revelation about the need for a stronger focus on wellbeing in education. I worked with a number of learners who were classified as high potential, but many of whom struggled with failure avoidance, perfectionism, and in one case, a profoundly gifted young girl who was immobilised by social anxiety. In working with her, I knew I needed to understand more about how to support her wellbeing, but simply had no tools. I certainly had no training. We eventually found a way to connect through a shared fascination with Tolkien's Elvish language in The Lord of the Rings. But that became the impetus for me to undertake a Churchill Fellowship to study how to foster resilient learners. I was blessed to have an opportunity to work with a leading academic at Cambridge in this area. But it was actually a serendipitous stop along the way at a conference in Italy, the second European Conference on Positive Psychology in 2004, that was to have the most compelling impact upon my teaching career. Here I was immersed in the latest research and findings on human flourishing and began to understand more fully the inextricable link between learning and wellbeing. Since this time, I've worked with the most amazingly inspiring teachers and leaders to help establish the Positive Education Schools Association, PESA, which now has well over 1,000 member schools, state, Catholic, independent schools, cluster models such as the remarkable Upper Hunter hub of schools, along with individual teachers, leaders, psychologists and parents across Australia and now moving into New Zealand and Singapore. An extraordinary community of practice and a great site for resources, networking and support to enable whole school ecosystems to thrive. I'm also so grateful to be Vice Chair of the International Positive Education Network, established by Professor Martin Seligman and Sir Anthony Seldon, but intrigued to note the similarity of the patterns and the need, not just here but globally, for more support in this area. I've had the opportunity to learn from Professor Martin Seligman as my capstone thesis supervisor at the University of Pennsylvania, and now from Australian leaders in the field, Professor Lindsay Oates and Dr. Aaron Jardine, as I complete my PhD on how to foster a mindset for wellbeing in schools. So as I reflect on my unfolding career, I can see the powerful influence and legacy of educators in my life too, the ever-evolving virtuous cycles of impact and legacy through teachers. But of course, some of our greatest teachers are also our students. And I've learnt some of my best lessons from them, particularly some who began as my most challenging students. It's always heartening too to hear of the difference our teaching makes. As chair of PISA, I recently had the privilege of facilitating a panel discussion hosted by Ravenswood on the impact of positive education on a range of students who had graduated from schools across the state. Each had completed their schooling either in 2020 or in 2021 during the global pandemic. These students had seen the positive education strategies they had been taught really stress-tested, both during their senior years at school and now as they are completing their tertiary studies. Overwhelmingly, their key message to the hundreds of teachers and leaders in the room was thank you and keep going. They described the way strategies such as cognitive reframing, taking a strengths-based approach, and understanding of the benefits of grit and gratitude, along with mindfulness, had helped them navigate the stresses of COVID-19 and transition to university. They also commented that a spotlight on wellbeing in their school had helped remove a stigma surrounding mental ill health and promoted more effective help-seeking behaviours, not just for them personally, but in terms of their encouragement to their friends as well. Our 2021 Ravenswood panellists were also reflective about how an explicit wellbeing approach had enhanced and buffered against the academic stresses. 90% of our students from this year group achieved their first university preference, along with a median ATAR of 93.05 in a proudly non-selective school context. Notwithstanding the challenges faced by completing these trials online and from home during a full term of lockdown, these students achieved some of our highest results on record. The insights shared by this panel also are borne out in research around post-traumatic growth. This has found that the extent to which students have been taught skills of wellbeing prior to the pandemic was predictive of their ability to cope during the pandemic, make stronger academic progress, and show levels of post-stress growth afterwards. One of the panellists, Georgia, who graduated from Scone High in 2021, shared that she felt that she benefited so powerfully that she felt very sad when many of her fellow university students hadn't experienced the same or a similar curriculum. She therefore had made a commitment to devoting her career to advancing positive education. Thus, we see new generations rise up and paying forward the benefits of their own education. Legendary American teacher Marva Collins opened her own prep school in an impoverished neighbourhood in Chicago. She focused on high expectations combined with an unswerving belief in her students, rigorous learning experiences and character education. She achieved results so astonishing, she was invited to be Secretary of Education by numerous American presidents. Marva Collins once said, "When I teach, I feel I am touching the future somehow." And indeed, we are all touching the future, stretching out endlessly before us through our roles in schools every day. And looking around this room tonight, I know the future is in the very best of hands. Well, as I conclude, I'd like to express my deep gratitude to the Teachers Guild of New South Wales for this 2022 Phyllis Evans Medal. What makes this award even more humbling is that the medal is named after a long-serving, brilliant and formidable past principal of Ravenswood, Phyllis Evans. Phyllis was the 6th principal and I am just the 10th, since Ravenswood was founded in 1901. It is an honour to serve among a successive line of such outstanding female leaders, right back to our visionary founder, Mabel Feidler. Miss Feidler declared that Ravenswood would not be a dame school focused on the refinements of needlework, preparing gentlewomen of the day for polite society, but instead be a school where young women could be prepared for university and move into vibrant careers. Miss Feidler was passionate about educational excellence in a holistic way, including pursuit of social justice endeavours as an expression of our school's Christian ethos. Miss Feidler was described as a great encourager and somewhat of a psychologist by her first students in the early 1900s, and her legacy lives on. I like to think Mabel Feidler would be proud of our school's strong commitment to positive education today. Certainly by establishing a motto which is all about forward momentum and hope, semper ad meliora, always towards better things, she could be described as an early positive psychologist. As the world continues to change at an exponential rate, we as educators too stand on tectonic plates. It is our role to be innovative and responsive to the shifts and changes that face our students in a highly globalised, technologically revolutionary society, while also ensuring their feet are firmly grounded in strong values. As a Uniting Church school at Ravenswood, we also share that from a Christian perspective, nothing can separate us from the love of God, and that He has plans for each and every one of us to give us a future and a hope. But whatever our personal worldview, now more than ever, our students, staff and whole school communities need hope. I truly believe that because of the students and teachers in our school, the future is bright with possibilities as we advance together, always towards better things.
I would now like to welcome Mr. Rick Stevens, Life Member of the Teachers Guild of New South Wales, to the stage for the vote of thanks.
Mr. President, Minister Sarah Mitchell, fellows, members and guests. May I begin by thanking Dr. Osmond for inviting me to give this vote of thanks. It is a special privilege. First, to honour a speaker who's had such a stellar rise in her career since joining the profession in the year 2000. And if the rumour is right, a bit of a dab hand at designing and building chicken coops, a skill that all teachers should have. Second, because I was on the Early Career Educators Award panel in 2003 when we chose Anne as the winner of the primary division. I well remember her excitement, enjoyment and passion for teaching the young girls at Catherine's, having not long left the world of corporate law. She wanted to make a real difference in a new career, and she certainly has. And finally, because it is so fitting that Anne is the fifth recipient of the medal named in honour of one of her predecessors at Ravenswood, a very eminent and skillful education. And I am sure Phyllis Evans would have been very proud of you, especially on this occasion, as we recognise you as an educator of great standing. And thank you for untangling yourself from the world of law, for joining our noble profession, for sharing your insights and enthusiasm for education, especially the welfare of students, giving them hope for the future, cheering each other on, and finding strengths, and referring also to those wonderful past educators who made such a difference to your career. And you are indeed a very worthy recipient of the 2002 Phyllis Evans Award. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to invite Dr. Fred Osmond to make the presentation.
Thank you.
Our next awards are the presentation of the World Teachers Recognition Awards for 2022. To present our World Teachers Recognition Awards, I would now like to welcome on stage the Honorary Sarah Mitchell, MLC, Minister for Education and Early Learning, and Ms Prue Carr, Member for Londonderry, Shadow Minister for Education and Shadow Minister for Early Childhood Learning. Please make them feel welcome. These awards honour teachers with the World Teachers Recognition Certificate who have made a wonderful contribution to their school in advancing the education profession. The World Teachers Recognition Awards order of the names is listed in the program. We would appreciate our award recipients to make their way to the side of the room, so you come forward when your name and citation is read to receive your World Teachers' Day Recognition Award and take a photo with both Minister Mitchell and Minister Carr before you go down from the stairs to your table. Okay, to begin with, Alison Boyd Boland from Trinity Grammar School, whose award will be accepted by a member of her school. In her position of Director of Professional Practice at Trinity Grammar School, Alison Boyd Boland has introduced initiatives that have helped transform aspects of teaching practice, professional development and pre-service teacher support. Alison is an exceptional teacher of English in which she incorporates teaching practices that not only engage her students but provide a model for others to apply to their teaching. Alison McClarty from Lakes Grammar and Anglican School. Alison McClarty is responsible for the overall well-being of all students from K to 12 as Director of Academic Care at Lakes Grammar and Anglican School. She has been instrumental in developing the school's character framework and building a strong and cohesive well-being team that supports the academic journey of every student. Let's applaud Alison McClarty. Alex Fanny from St Andrew's Cathedral School. Alex Fanny is an excellent teacher who brings vitality and energy to her students' learning. Alex has a collaborative approach to teaching and enjoys working with others as they develop their practice. She coordinates the public speaking competition and is the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders curriculum integrator. In both these roles, Alex is an organised, supportive and valued colleague. Amber Maley from Northern Beaches Christian School. Amber Maley is a senior history and drama teacher who contributes well beyond her realm of responsibility as an early career teacher. In all activities, she demonstrates professionalism, humility and grace. Amber is a pivotal member of the Northern Beaches Christian School team. Andreas Mikler from Trinity Grammar School. For over a quarter of a century, Andreas Mikler has inspired students at Trinity Grammar School and in Singapore to pursue the study of German and French. His insistence on high standards has been matched by his compassionate care for each of the students fortunate enough to be in his class. Andreas has provided countless hours of professional development for his fellow German teachers at Trinity Grammar School, who appreciate very much all that he does for them and whose own teaching would not be what it is without his patient support. Angela D'Angelo from Sydney Catholic Schools. Angela D'Angelo is an exceptional educational leader who works productively and strategically to build knowledge and confidence for teaching, learning and leading mathematics in secondary schools across Sydney. Angela's level of personal commitment and her willingness to walk alongside schools in their improvement journey by modelling and analysing exemplary teaching in diverse classrooms have increased the mathematical knowledge for teaching for hundreds of students. Anne Hobden from Lakes Grammar and Anglican School. Anne Hobden is integral to the monitoring and the improving of academic outcomes of the students in her role as Director of Academic Challenge at Lakes Grammar and Anglican School. Anne has been instrumental in implementing the Staff Reflection Program at Lakes Grammar, where all staff in the senior school work with her to reflect on their own teaching goals. Anne herself is an exceptional educator who has assisted many students achieve a Band 6 in her visual arts HSE classrooms, with students achieving nominations and selections for Art Express. Anne Hume from Our Lady of the Sacred Heart Catholic College. Anne is an outstanding educator who has worked tirelessly to lead rigorous and consistent processes and structures aimed at maximising the learning outcomes for students. Anne has made a significant contribution to the Botany Randwick network by co-leading the delivery of quality professional learning in high-impact, contemporary approaches to mathematics teaching. Anne Sharkey of Regent's Park Christian School is unable to join us, but her award will be accepted by a member of her school this evening. Anne Sharkey's commitment to appropriate support and inclusion for students with disability has positively impacted the whole school community. Her consistent and thorough work ethic has streamlined processes and improved effectiveness in providing and documenting for students with disability. Anne continually seeks to improve her own practice and stay up to date with best practice for students with disability. Let's congratulate Anne and her principal. Anju Katiel from Penrith Selective High School. Anju is an exceptional teacher of mathematics whose internal, external and HSC results in mathematics are outstanding. As a result of Anju's expertise and excellent rapport with her students, she is entrusted with the more challenging courses of mathematics, such as Extension 2 and Compaction classes. Her leadership, teaching practice and demeanour make her uniquely different. Brant Maslin of St Philip's Christian College, Dale. Brant Maslin is an exceptional educator with an outstanding work ethic and passion for achieving exceptional student outcomes. In his current role as a multi-campus deputy principal, he is a strong advocate for students with disabilities, bringing years of experience to his planning and work to enable students to flourish. Brant has a unique gift of liaising effectively with allied health services, using an integrated approach to achieve positive progress and growth for families and to enable them to be supported, valued and cared for in a genuine outworking of his Christian faith. Brendan Archbold from Regent's Park Christian School. Brendan's quest for excellence in education is inspirational. Brendan has expertly crafted and is currently delivering advanced and extension opportunities for gifted writers from Year 4 to Year 12. Brendan regularly applies his knowledge of gifted education to support gifted students experiencing social and emotional challenges, perfectionism and twice exceptionality. Brendan Duig from Trinity Grammar School. Brendan is a remarkable educator whose creative genius has engaged the international community, students and parents within and beyond his school. He initiated the International Baccalaureate Film Awards hosted by Brian Brown, encouraging participants to explore and apply their creative minds. Bridget O'Neill from St Anthony's Catholic Primary School. Bridget O'Neill is extremely worthy of being recognised for her excellence in teaching and her commitment to the teaching profession. Beyond her own school, Bridget has made a significant contribution to the Botany Randwick network by co-leading the delivery of quality professional learning in high-impact, contemporary approaches to mathematics teaching. Bridget inspires teachers to be their best and supports students to maximise their learning. Bronwyn Zucker from St Andrew's Cathedral School. Bronwyn is a dedicated educator, committed to supporting the development of the whole young person. Bronwyn is a head of house and a talented visual arts teacher who always ensures her teaching is delivered with expertise and sensitivity to support students at all stages of learning. Claire Pereira from Three Bridges. Claire Pereira shows passion and commitment for assisting people to live their best life possible and reach their full potential, particularly those with learning disabilities. She incorporates the teaching of life skills while bringing brain health and wellness together in an exceptional manner. Danielle Litchfield from St Philip's Christian College. Danielle Litchfield's commitment to student wellbeing has helped many students navigate this challenging time in their development. Danielle is an outstanding humanities educator who continually seeks creative, co-created opportunities for her students to be engaged in their learning. She is committed to a journey of continuous improvement and leads her team through this mindset. Daphne Gow from Trinity Grammar School, whose award will be accepted by a member of her school tonight. Daphne Gow has been a teacher of Chinese for over 35 years, during which time she has taught both HSC and International Baccalaureate courses. Meticulous in her preparation, adaptive in her approach to teaching, and able to find that balance between teacher-directed and student-centred learning, Daphne has helped enhance the profile of languages at Trinity Grammar School and in New South Wales. David Bonzo from St Philip's Christian College. David Bonzo inspires, equips and mentors young people to cultivate their passion for STEM education. Through his student-centred approach to learning and his investment in authentic industry engagement, David has provided a launchpad for his students to pursue successful careers in the fields of engineering and technology. David Latimer from Trinity Grammar School, whose award will be accepted by a member of his school. David Latimer has a passion for teaching Latin and Classical Greek, notably recognised by NESA in their invitation for David to be the Chief Examiner in Latin. David models lifelong learning, continuing to undertake further studies in languages and language development, and applies this learning to his teaching and to the professional development of his colleagues. Edward Habcook from Trinity Grammar School. Edward is the Faculty Head of Mathematics at Trinity Grammar School, Summerhill, and has contributed to the development of an outstanding mathematics department. Edward has developed a love of mathematics in many students, leading to the attainment of outstanding results in the HSC and international examinations. Elizabeth Leitner from St Andrew's Cathedral School. In her role as Languages Assessment Coordinator, Elizabeth has helped to redesign summative assessments from Year 7 through to Year 12 at St Andrew's Cathedral School to ensure they meet the requirements of the MYP Languages Acquisition Guide. She has provided excellent guides for language teachers and regularly shares updates at faculty meetings and to help improve teacher practice. Elizabeth has great attention to detail and thoroughly reviews all assessments, providing very clear feedback to constantly drive improvements. Emma Newling from St Andrew's Cathedral School. Emma Newling is the Kindergarten to Year 6 chaplain and Christian development teacher at St Andrew's Cathedral School. She is an exceptional teacher who brings her love of her subject and her excellent teaching practice together to provide an excellent program to the students in the school. Estee Stevenson from St Andrew's Cathedral School. Estee Stevenson is a double Masters qualified educator with a demonstrated capacity to lead gifted education in a high school setting. A passionate educator, she has developed and delivered a comprehensive professional development program for staff and parents, including sessions on the identification of gifted students, acceleration, psychosocial elements of gifted students, and how to support executive functioning skills in the classroom. Graham Dunn from St Philip's Christian College. Graham Dunn has been inspiring and motivating students through science at St Philip's Christian College for 35 years. As well as being an outstanding teacher, he has also excelled in his previous roles as Assistant Head of Senior School and now as Director of Educational Management. In these roles, he has exhibited care for both people and processes and the ability to synthesise the many moving parts of a large K-12 school. Ian Moore from Trinity Grammar School. Ian Moore is an outstanding educator whose passion and expertise for the past 45 years in economics has inspired teachers and students and the broader community to engage with, enjoy, and develop their use of economics. He developed learning approaches that have been codified in such an engaging and accessible way to benefit any student aspiring to high performance in challenging subject areas. Jessica Dijkgraaf from Trinity Grammar School. Jessica Dijkgraaf has taught HSC and International Baccalaureate French and German for almost 3 decades. Specialising in French for much of her career, she has used her consummate language skills, innovative classroom methodology, and matchless pastoral care to provide her charges not just with the priceless opportunity to master a significant world language, but also with the skills to overcome all sorts of academic hurdles. Jonathan Hall from St Andrew's Cathedral School. Jonathan Hall leads the delivery of Theory of Knowledge course implementation with depth of understanding and with a willingness to train and support other educators with deep thinking required to deliver the International Baccalaureate coursework cohesively. His students find his classes impactful. They explain that being in Jonathan's classes has changed their life, the way they see the world, and how they understand their identity and purpose. Joy Rolark from St Andrew's Cathedral School. Joy is an exceptional teacher and Year 5 leader who supports and motivates her team of teachers, creating a strong and dynamic team who work tirelessly for their students. The strength of Joy's leadership is her love of teaching that pervades everything she does and has kept her in the classroom through her extensive career, as well as her collegial approach that enables each teacher in her team to excel. Carl Serato from Penrith Selective High School. Carl Serato is a dynamic, engaging and highly effective teacher, year advisor, transition advisor and multimedia coordinator whose expertise, both within and out of the classroom, has resulted in great success in all of these roles. Carl's work in the multimedia space has led to the establishment of a new and ever-expanding leadership body which deals specifically with the evolving technology and media demands of our school and future-focused learning. Kate Giles of Pymble Ladies College. Kate Giles is a dedicated teacher who shows commitment to her students and families and demonstrates passion for nurturing the academic, emotional and social development of each individual student. She has a passion for student well-being, emotional intelligence and the role this plays in the successful learning experiences of each child. She is always keen to grow and improve and share her love of learning with others. Kay Chalwell of St Andrew's Cathedral School. Kay Chalwell is a qualitative researcher with a PhD in Christian pedagogy. Her research in gifted education has supported schools and teachers as they consider the implications of radical acceleration for individual students. Kay is an experienced educator and researcher with a demonstrated capacity to lead and motivate teachers to develop research-informed practice. Kirsten McCauley from St Andrew's Cathedral School. Kirsten McCauley is the Director of Teaching at St Andrew's Cathedral School. She is a passionate music teacher whose expertise led her to her appointment as an HSC Music Supervisor of Marking. Kirsten's expertise in pedagogy is evident in her own teaching practice and in her tireless work to support teachers across the school. Constance White from Penrith Selective High School. Constance is a highly experienced and outstanding history teacher and Stage 4 academic advisor. Her positive impact on all students is evident in the increase in the number of students wanting to study history and her excellent results in the HSC. Constance has been instrumental in leading the Ancient History course for the faculty and in offering accelerated ancient history to Year 10 students. Whose award is being accepted by someone else on behalf of her. Christy Gorham from Lakes Grammar and Anglican School. As the Director of Academic Diversity at Lakes Grammar and Anglican School, Christy Gorham has been instrumental in ensuring all students at Lakes Grammar are appropriately catered for both in and out of the classroom. Christy's worked tirelessly to ensure a consistent process is in place across K-12 for all students who need support or extension at Lakes Grammar. Margaret Scott from St John Bosco College. Margaret Scott is an outstanding teacher of mathematics who is always willing to share her wealth of knowledge with others. She strives to create the best possible learning experience for her students. Over the past 17 years, Margaret has become a highly respected colleague, both within and beyond the mathematics faculty. Maria Millward from St John Bosco College. Maria Millward is an expert in the teaching area of English and has created exceptional resources which she has generously shared with colleagues and students to enhance the learning experiences of all. The development of strong English programs in all stages has contributed to a rich and significant understanding of important issues and has helped build community spirit, understanding and peace across all year levels. Michael Cooper of St Philip's Christian College. Michael Cooper has influenced the lives of countless students over 2 decades at St Philip's Christian College through his commitment to excellence in theatrical production. Michael has received critical acclaim as the producer of professional quality musicals in the college, and he also leads service leading opportunities within Australia and overseas, which are the highlight of many students' learning journeys. Michael Salstrom from St Andrew's Cathedral School. Michael Salstrom is a humble educator, committed to supporting the development of the whole young person. He is ready to listen, advise and support students to flourish at school. Michael is an experienced head of house and an excellent English literature teacher who always ensures his teaching is delivered with students' interest, reverence, relevance and with care to assist each student to progress their understanding. Michelle Smith from Lakes Grammar and Anglican School. Michelle Smith has worked tirelessly to drive the implementation of school walks across K-12 at Lakes Grammar and Anglican School. She has gone above and beyond to communicate with all stakeholders, including staff, students and parents, ensuring a smooth transition to newer technology. Mitzi Camillo from Marylands East Public School. Mitzi Camillo has provided early intervention and specialist literacy programs to support students from refugee backgrounds with complex needs to transition into school. Her expertise in sharing literacy strategies with her kindergarten team has built teacher capacity and strengthened the knowledge and skills of pre-service teachers. Naomi Davey from St Andrew's Cathedral School. Naomi Davey is an experienced teacher who supports students with diverse learning needs to achieve their potential. She tirelessly designs targeted programs and adjustments to meet their individual needs, as well as supporting them and their families in achieving their goals, both personal and academic. Norma Camier, Trinity Grammar School. Norma has used her leadership skills to enhance the practice of teaching, not only in her faculty, but through the provision of professional development to other learning areas. In a non-selective, multicultural school, Norma has inspired her staff and students to believe in themselves, to strive for self-improvement and to be their best selves. Paul Stenhouse from Trinity Grammar School. Paul is congratulated on his ability to create an environment where students are always supported and motivated to seek the very best from themselves. Paul is an outstanding teacher and coach with a strong commitment to providing quality learning opportunities for all students in a broad range of pastoral, sporting and co-curricular activities. Phyllis Buklak from Trinity Grammar School. Phyllis's intelligent, energetic and passionate teaching of the Chinese language and her remarkable understanding of and care for all her classes have been the chief reasons for the fact that more and more students have taken on the significant challenge of learning this very difficult Asian language. She has organised and led several cultural tours of China for both primary and secondary students at Trinity Grammar, and in doing so has provided these students with priceless experiences. Rebecca Newman of St Andrew's Cathedral School. Rebecca Newman was appointed by her colleagues as Chair of the Staff Wellbeing Committee in her first year at St Andrew's Cathedral School. In this role, she led a team of staff to organise wellbeing initiatives across all sectors of the school. Rebecca has been praised for her leadership abilities, and she has also been promoted to the role of Accelerated Class Teacher. Rodrigo de la Hoz from St Andrew's Cathedral School. Rodrigo is an experienced teacher who inspires students to endeavour and strive to move beyond their own limitations. His constant encouragement generates self-belief in his students, improving their levels of resilience and equipping them with skills for life. Rosalind Boyd of Brigadine College. Rosalind Boyd has been a devoted and passionate music teacher for over 3 decades. She has contributed significantly to the lives of her students, has donated her time to be on trial HSC written examination committees, marked student performances and has been the director of the Brigadine College musical every year for 30 years. Rosalind is highly regarded in the music teaching community. Now, there comes a time in every award presentation where you have to just make sure you say it correctly, so my apologies, Sabine. I'm going to try. Sabine Widcherek, and I did try and practice. This is very important. I like to say the names correctly, but forgive me, I'm learning as well. Sabine, for over 2 decades, has inspired students at Trinity Grammar School to pursue the study of French, possessing such a passion for language learning and teaching that generations of students have placed their trust in her guidance and skills. Through her work as an HSC and International Baccalaureate marker, Sabine has not only contributed significantly to language education beyond her school, but has also provided her colleagues with invaluable professional development. Seema Mirza Farjad from Maryland's East Public School. Seema is an outstanding primary teacher and the leader of the Year 5-6 stage team at Maryland's East Public School. In her leadership role, she has designed and collaboratively implemented culturally diverse integrated literacy units that she has generously shared with other teachers. Stephen Katalinic from St John Bosco College. Stephen is a passionate technology and applied studies teacher who is highly regarded by both colleagues and students. Over the past 4 years, Stephen has been instrumental in initiating new projects and processes within his teaching area and across the college community. Stephen values and believes that quality education makes a difference. Stephen Lidster of Penrith Selective High School. Stephen Lidster is a head teacher of English who has changed the culture and direction of his faculty through collaborative practice, cooperation and an appreciation of literature. His innovative Bump It Up program delivers regular, targeted and individualised teacher feedback to senior students to maximise their HSC results. Stephen is an exceptional and inspirational leader, both within and out of the classroom. Suzanne Young from St Aloysius Primary School, Cronulla. Suzanne Young is an outstanding educator who has made enormous contributions both in improving student growth across all areas of the curriculum and as a teacher mentor in the area of mathematics. The impact of her teaching enables outstanding results. Suzanne's ability to inspire leadership in others through coaching and mentoring has a positive impact on both students and beginning teachers. I'm going to invite Mr. Patrick Nam, who's going to come up and guide us in the closing of our evening. Could we again congratulate our award recipients and also our ministers.
As we close our official proceedings, the Teachers Guild of New South Wales would like to thank you all for joining our award ceremony this evening. I hope everyone had a wonderful night of celebrating quality teachers, and I'd like to thank the William Inglis Hotel for their beautiful hospitality. Our congratulations to all our award recipients on the amazing work you do to give both the teaching profession and children in your care a bright future. The Council of the Teachers Guild of New South Wales wishes our award recipients the greatest satisfaction and enjoyment on their work and future endeavours. Congratulations to Mrs. Anne Johnston with the Phyllis Evans Medal. Please come forward and accept these flowers on behalf of the Teachers Guild of New South Wales. Thank you for joining us this evening, and please stay safe and well. And if you'd like to come up and take some photos, please do. If not, have a good night and stay safe. Thank you.